Captain John Miller stood on the bridge of the exploration ship New Horizon, watching the stars through the main window. The ship moved slowly through space near the edge of human territory. For 3 months, they had been mapping new star systems and looking for planets that humans might visit someday. Lisa Adams sat at her science station checking the ship's sensors. Tony Garcia worked at the communications desk, listening for any signals from unknown sources. Amanda Clark stood near the security panel, keeping watch for any dangers. The crew had done this kind of work many times before. Space was usually quiet and empty. "Captain, I'm getting some strange readings," Lisa said, looking at her screen with confusion. "There are huge energy bursts coming from the next system over. It looks like weapons fire." John walked over to see what she had found. The energy patterns were unlike anything in their databases. The readings showed massive explosions and the movement of many large objects. "Could be a space battle," Amanda said, checking her own instruments. "The energy signatures are off the charts." "Set course for the system," John ordered. "But keep us at a safe distance. If someone is fighting out there, we need to know about it." The New Horizon changed direction and moved toward the unknown system. As they got closer, the energy readings became stronger. Through the ship's telescopes, they could see flashes of light and the shapes of large vessels firing at each other. "Tony, any communications from those ships?" John asked. "Nothing directed at us, Captain, but I'm picking up transmissions between the fighting vessels. The language is completely unknown." As they watched the battle from far away, something unexpected happened. The fighting stopped. All the ships in the battle zone suddenly turned toward the New Horizon. "Captain, we have a problem," Amanda said, her voice tense. "Multiple ships are heading straight for us, fast." John felt his heart rate increase. "Red alert. All hands to battle stations." The alien ships surrounded the New Horizon within minutes. They were unlike any design humans had ever seen. The vessels had curved surfaces and strange glowing sections. Some were long and thin like needles. Others were wide and flat like giant discs. "Incoming transmission," Tony announced. "They're trying to talk to us." "Put it on screen," John ordered. The main display showed a creature that made the human crew gasp. It had blue scales covering its body and 4 arms instead of 2. Its head was larger than a human head, with big yellow eyes that looked frightened. When it spoke, the words came through the ship's translation system. "Human vessel, this is Commander Zethkar of the Korthani fleet. Please do not move. We must speak with you immediately." John stepped forward. "This is Captain John Miller of the Earthship New Horizon. What do you want?" The alien commander's eyes grew even wider. "You must listen very carefully, Captain Miller. What I am about to tell you will sound impossible, but every word is true. Both my people and our enemies have been watching your species for many years. We have studied your history, your wars, your methods of fighting." Lisa leaned toward John and whispered, "How do they know so much about us?" Commander Zethkar continued, "We have intercepted your radio signals, your television broadcasts, your military communications. We have learned about your battles, from your ancient wars to your modern conflicts. What we discovered terrifies us more than anything else in the galaxy." "I don't understand," John said. "What could be so scary about humans?" The alien commander's forearms moved nervously. "Captain Miller, my people have been at war with the Vextar for over 200 years. Millions have died on both sides. Our weapons can destroy planets. Our fleets number in the thousands. But in all this time, neither side has been able to win." Another voice came through the communication system. This creature looked different from the first. It had gray skin and 6 arms, with red eyes instead of yellow ones. "I am war leader Karthan of the Vextar Empire," the second alien said. "What Commander Zethkar says is true. Our 2 peoples have fought longer than your entire civilization has existed. But we both agree on one thing. Humans must never be allowed to join this war." John looked at his crew in confusion. "Why would you be afraid of us? Your ships are bigger than ours. Your weapons seem more powerful." Commander Zethkar made a sound that might have been nervous laughter. "Captain, you do not understand what makes humans dangerous. It is not your ships or your weapons, it is how you think, how you fight, how you never give up." War leader Carthen continued the explanation. We have studied your military history. We watched how you fought in your world wars, how you adapted to new situations, how you used tactics that no one expected. Your species does not fight like us. We follow rules, Commander Zethkar said. We use traditional strategies that have been the same for thousands of years. But humans break rules. You create new ways to fight in the middle of battle. You use tricks and deception. You fight with a creativity that we cannot predict or counter. Lisa spoke up from her station. Are you saying that you're afraid of human military tactics? More than afraid, War leader Carthen replied. We are terrified. Our war computers have run millions of simulations. In every scenario where humans join one side of our conflict, that side wins completely within months. The losing side faces total destruction. Commander Zethkar leaned closer to the camera. This is why we stopped fighting when we detected your ship. For the first time in 2 centuries, both the Korthani and the Vextar agreed on something. We contacted each other and decided to approach you together. We are begging you, War leader Carthen said. Promise us that your people will not take sides in our war. Promise us that you will return to your space and never come back to this region of the galaxy. John felt overwhelmed by what he was hearing. 2 advanced alien civilizations locked in a war that had lasted longer than recorded human history were afraid of what humans might do if they got involved. What exactly did you learn about us that scares you so much? Amanda asked. Commander, Zethkar was quiet for a moment. Then he said, You have a saying on your world. All is fair in love and war. This concept does not exist in our cultures. We fight with honor, following ancient traditions. But humans fight to win, no matter what it takes. War leader Carthen added, You have shown that you will sacrifice anything, use any method, adapt to any situation to achieve victory. Your history is full of smaller, weaker forces defeating larger, stronger enemies through pure determination and clever thinking. The alien commander's voice became desperate. Captain Miller, if humans enter our war, it will not end in victory, for one side. It will end in the complete destruction of the losing civilization. Billions will die. Please, you must promise that your people will stay away. John looked around at his crew. They all seemed as shocked as he felt. The idea that humanity's reputation as warriors had spread to alien civilizations was hard to believe. I cannot make promises for all of humanity, John said carefully. But I can report what you have told us to our leaders on Earth. Both alien commanders seemed relieved by this answer. Commander Zethkar said, That is all we ask. Please tell your leaders that both the Korthani and the Vextar want only peace with humanity. We will stay away from your space if you stay away from ours. Admiral Kate Johnson sat in her office at Space Command headquarters, staring at the report on her desk. She had read Captain Miller's message 3 times, but it still seemed impossible to believe. 2 alien civilizations were afraid of humans. Not afraid of human technology or weapons, but afraid of how humans fought wars. She picked up her secure phone and dialed the Pentagon. General Thompson, we need to talk. Drop everything and get over here now. Within an hour, General Rick Thompson arrived at Space Command with Dr. Susan Wright, Earth's leading expert on alien life. They gathered in the secure briefing room where Admiral Johnson played the recorded conversation between Captain Miller and the alien commanders. This has got to be some kind of joke, General Thompson said when the recording finished. They're scared of us? These aliens have been fighting a war for 200 years. They have ships that could probably destroy our entire fleet. Dr. Wright shook her head. Look at what they actually said, Rick. They're not afraid of our weapons. They're afraid of our minds, our way of thinking about conflict. Admiral Johnson pulled up a holographic display. I've been thinking about this all morning. What if they're right? What if there really is something about how humans approach warfare that's different from other species? The secure phone rang. Admiral Johnson answered it, and her face became serious. Yes, sir, right away, sir. She hung up and looked at the others. That was the White House. President Clark wants to see us immediately. 2 hours later, They sat in the Oval Office with President David Clark and Secretary of Defense Paul Martinez. The president looked tired and confused. "Admiral Johnson, I need you to explain this to me again," President Clark said. "Are you telling me that aliens have been watching us, and they're afraid of us?" "That's exactly what we're saying, Mr. President," Admiral Johnson replied. "According to Captain Miller's report, both alien factions have been studying our history for decades. They've intercepted our communications, watched our movies, analyzed our military records." Secretary Martinez leaned forward. "What exactly did they learn that scares them so much?" Dr. Wright opened her tablet and began reading. Based on what the aliens told Captain Miller, they've studied everything from ancient Roman tactics to modern special forces operations. They've analyzed World War II, Vietnam, the Gulf War, and dozens of smaller conflicts. And, President Clark asked, they discovered patterns in how humans fight that don't exist in their own cultures. Dr. Wright continued, "We adapt quickly. We use deception and misdirection. We fight dirty when we have to. Most importantly, we never give up." General Thompson snorted. "So they're afraid because we're good at war? That seems like their problem, not ours." "Admiral," Johnson pulled out another file. "It's more than that, General. 3 hours ago we received another transmission from the alien fleets. They sent us data files containing their analysis of human military history." She activated a wall screen that showed charts and graphs. "This is their computer analysis of human warfare. They've identified what they call chaos factors in every major human conflict." President Clark studied the display. "What are chaos factors?" "Unexpected moves that change everything," Dr. Wright explained. "Like when smaller forces defeat larger ones through surprise attacks, or when armies win battles. They should have lost by using tactics no one predicted." Secretary Martinez pointed at the screen. "These are all human battles?" "Every single one," Admiral Johnson confirmed. "The aliens found over 3,000 examples of humans winning fights they should have lost. Their computers can't predict or counter this kind of thinking." The president was quiet for a long moment, then he asked, "What do they want from us?" "They want us to promise we'll never get involved in their war," Admiral Johnson said. "Both sides are so afraid of what would happen if humans picked a side that they've agreed to work together to keep us out." General Thompson laughed. "Two civilizations that have been trying to kill each other for 2 centuries suddenly become friends because they're scared of us? This is insane." Before anyone could respond, an aide entered the room. "Mr. President, we have a situation. 2 alien ships have just appeared in Earth orbit. They're requesting permission to send diplomatic missions to the planet." President Clark looked around the room. "How fast did they get here?" Admiral Johnson checked her watch. "Captain Miller made first contact 18 hours ago. If they sent diplomats immediately, their ships must be incredibly fast." "Or they were already on their way here before Miller met them," Dr. Wright suggested. "Maybe they've been planning this for a while." Secretary Martinez stood up. "Mr. President, I recommend we bring both alien delegations to Earth but keep them separated. We need to hear what each side has to say." "Agreed," President Clark said. "Admiral Johnson, I want our best people studying those alien data files. I want to know exactly what they think they know about us." Over the next 2 days, the alien diplomats arrived on Earth. The Korthani sent High Counselor Murdoch, a tall, blue-scaled alien who spoke in a nervous, high-pitched voice. The Vextar delegation was led by Ambassador Veltar, a gray-skinned creature with 6 arms who moved very slowly and carefully. Both aliens brought gifts, advanced technology, star maps, and energy crystals worth more than Earth's entire economy. But they also brought the same message: humanity must promise to stay out of their war. Dr. Wright interviewed both delegations separately. High Counselor Murdoch showed her holographic records of human battles that the Korthani had studied. "Your species defeated the Spanish Armada with smaller ships and bad weather," Murdoch said, his voice shaking. "Your generals in World War II won battles by doing things no rational commander would attempt. You have soldiers who fought to the death in hopeless situations and somehow survived." Ambassador Veltar was even more direct. "Humans are unpredictable, he told Dr. Wright. Our war computers cannot calculate chaos. They cannot plan for insanity. Your species fights with controlled madness that no logical mind can counter. General Thompson met with military analysts to review the alien data. What they found surprised everyone. The aliens had studied human warfare better than most human historians. They knew about battles and tactics that were classified or forgotten. They've been watching us for at least 50 years, General Thompson reported to President Clark. Maybe longer. They know things about our military operations that aren't in any public records. Admiral Johnson discovered something even more disturbing. Mr. President, both alien factions have been positioning ships near our solar system for years. They've been ready to prevent us from leaving Earth if necessary. President Clark felt a chill run down his spine. They were prepared to attack us to keep us out of their war? It looks that way, sir. Both sides would rather fight us than let us help their enemies. As the days passed, the alien diplomats became more desperate. They offered humanity anything, technology, planets, resources, in exchange for a promise to stay neutral. But they also made subtle threats about what would happen if humans refused. The situation reached a crisis point when Dr. Wright made a startling discovery while reviewing the alien historical data. Mr. President, she said during an emergency meeting, I think I know why they're really afraid of us. Tell me, President Clark said. It's not just that we're good at fighting. It's that we're good at ending fights permanently. Every major human conflict has had a clear winner and loser, but their war has been going on for 200 years with no end in sight. Admiral Johnson understood immediately. They're not afraid. We'll help one side win. They're afraid we'll help one side win completely. Exactly, Dr. Wright said. They've been fighting this war so long that neither side remembers how to actually end it. But humans don't fight wars to fight wars. We fight wars to win them and then stop fighting. President Clark realized the full scope of the situation. The aliens weren't just afraid of human military tactics. They were afraid that humans would bring something to their war that neither side had seen in centuries, an actual ending. 3 weeks after the first alien contact, Colonel Frank Davis received a message that would change everything. He was working late at his desk in the Pentagon when his secure computer chimed with an incoming transmission. The message was encrypted, with codes he had never seen before. When he decoded it, the message was simple. Meet us at coordinates 34.7 north, 118.2 west. Come alone. Tell no one. We have an offer that will benefit all humanity. Colonel Davis knew those coordinates. They pointed to a remote area in the California desert, far from any military bases or cities. He should have reported the message immediately, but something made him hesitate. Curiosity won over caution. 2 nights later, Davis drove to the desert location. As he parked his car and stepped out into the darkness, lights appeared in the sky. A small alien ship landed silently near him. A ramp extended from the vessel, and a figure walked down. It was a Vextar, but not Ambassador Veltar. This alien was smaller and moved more quickly. Its 6 arms gestured nervously as it spoke. Colonel Davis, thank you for coming. I am Science Leader Corval. What I am about to show you must remain secret. Why should I trust you? Davis asked, his hand moving toward his sidearm. Because we are offering you something your leaders would never give you, Corval replied, the chance to see what human tactics could really accomplish. The alien led him into the ship. Inside, holographic displays showed detailed battle plans and weapons schematics. Davis had seen classified military technology before, but nothing like this. These are our fleet positions, Corval explained, and these are Corthani strongholds. With human tactical advice, we could end this war in months instead of decades. Davis studied the displays. Even with his limited knowledge of alien warfare, he could see obvious weaknesses in both sides' strategies. Why are you showing me this? Your people told us to stay out of your war. That is what our politicians say in public, Corval admitted. But some of us believe differently. We think human help could save millions of lives by ending the conflict quickly. Meanwhile, on the other side of the world, General Mary Wilson was having her own secret encounter. She had been contacted by a Korthani named Sub-Commander Torek, who asked to meet her at an abandoned research station in Antarctica. "General Wilson," Torek said as they met in the frozen wasteland, "my people are dying. Every day this war continues, more families lose their children. We have studied your military history. You know how to win wars. And you want us to help you win yours," Wilson said. "Just advice," Torek insisted. "We are not asking for human soldiers or ships. Only guidance from someone who understands victory." General Wilson looked at the alien data he showed her. The Korthani battle plans were defensive and reactive. Any human military academy student could see dozens of ways to improve them. "If I were to help," Wilson said carefully, "what would you offer in return?" "Technology beyond your imagination," Torek replied. "Energy sources that could power your entire planet, medical advances that could end disease, transportation that could take you to distant stars." Back in Washington, President Clark was dealing with increasing pressure from both alien factions. The official diplomatic meetings had become more desperate and more generous. Both sides offered incredible rewards for human neutrality, but also made subtle threats about what might happen if humans chose the wrong side. Dr. Susan Wright noticed the change first. "Mr. President, something is different about the alien diplomats. They're more nervous than before, and they keep asking specific questions about our military leaders." Admiral Johnson had noticed it too. "Sir, I think both sides are trying to recruit individual humans secretly. We've had reports of unusual activity near several military bases." President Clark called an emergency meeting with his top advisors. Secretary Martinez, General Thompson, Admiral Johnson, and Dr. Wright gathered in the Situation Room. "I want to know if any of our people have been contacted by these aliens," President Clark said. "Full investigation, classified level." The investigation revealed what they feared. Both Colonel Davis and General Wilson admitted to their secret meetings when directly questioned. Other military leaders reported similar approaches from both alien factions. "They're trying to play both sides," General Thompson said angrily, "publicly begging us to stay neutral while secretly trying to recruit our best tactical minds." Dr. Wright had been studying the offers both sides made to the human officers. "The technology they're promising is real," she reported. "Both factions are offering advances that could put us centuries ahead of where we are now." Colonel Davis defended his actions when brought before the committee. "Sir, I looked at their battle plans. The Vextar are making basic tactical errors. With simple advice, they could end this war and save millions of lives." General Wilson made similar arguments. "The Korthani strategies are completely defensive. They're just trying to survive, not win. Human tactical doctrine could help them achieve victory without the massive casualties their current approach guarantees." President Clark found himself facing an impossible decision. Both alien sides were offering humanity incredible rewards. Technology, resources, knowledge that could transform human civilization. But they were also asking humans to help with a war that had already killed millions. Dr. Wright presented her analysis to the president privately. "Sir, I've been running computer simulations based on the alien data. Both Colonel Davis and General Wilson are right. Human tactical advice really could end this war quickly." "What's the catch?" President Clark asked. "The losing side would face complete destruction," Dr. Wright said quietly. "Not just military defeat, total annihilation." The aliens weren't exaggerating when they said human involvement would tip the balance permanently. Secretary Martinez brought in intelligence reports from around the world. "Mr. President, we're getting reports that other countries have been contacted by the aliens too. Russia, China, and several European nations have all been approached with similar offers." "They're shopping around," Admiral Johnson realized. "If we won't help them, they'll find someone who will." The situation became more complicated when both alien factions began offering competing deals to the same human officers. Colonel Davis received a message from the Korthani promising even better technology than the Vextar had offered. "General, Wilson got a similar counteroffer from the Vextar." President Clark gathered his war council for a final discussion. We need to make a decision. Do we help one side, help both sides, or try to stay neutral while other countries might get involved? General Thompson argued for helping the Korthani. Based on the evidence we've seen, they appear to be the more defensive faction. They didn't start this war. Admiral Johnson disagreed. The Vextar claims about Korthani atrocities seem credible too. Neither side is completely innocent. Dr. Wright presented the most disturbing possibility. What if both sides are lying to us? What if they're both as bad as each other, and they're just trying to use human tactical skills to commit genocide? The debate continued for hours, but no clear answer emerged. Both alien factions had committed acts that humans would consider war crimes. Both sides had legitimate grievances. Both sides offered incredible rewards for human help. As the meeting ended, President Clark realized they were facing a test that would define humanity's place in the galaxy. Whatever decision they made would set a precedent for how humans dealt with alien conflicts in the future. The next morning brought news that changed everything. Satellite surveillance detected unauthorized alien activity on Earth. Small ships from both factions had begun landing in remote locations around the world, making contact with military leaders from multiple countries. The secret recruiting had become a global operation, and humanity's unified response was beginning to fracture as individual nations considered their own deals with the warring aliens. The crisis came without warning. At 600 hours on a Tuesday morning, alarms began blaring at Luna Base, humanity's largest military installation on the moon. Commander Sarah Lewis rushed to the command center where her officers were tracking multiple incoming contacts. "Commander, we have 12 alien ships approaching fast," reported Lieutenant Ben Carter. 6 Korthani vessels and 6 Vextar ships. They're not responding to our communications. At the same time, Captain Mike Rogers received similar warnings. At the orbital defense platform above Earth, his sensors showed alien ships moving toward human installations throughout the solar system. "All stations, this is Defense Command," Admiral Johnson broadcast from Earth. "We are under attack by unknown alien forces. All units prepare for combat." But the attacks were strange. The alien weapons struck human outposts with just enough force to damage equipment and disable systems, but not enough to kill anyone. Within an hour, both lunar and orbital bases were disabled, but intact. President Clark received emergency calls from both alien ambassadors within minutes of the attacks. High Counselor Murdoch appeared on screen first, his blue scales darker than usual. "Mr. President, please forgive this action. We had no choice. The Vextar were planning to attack your facilities to force you into the war on their side. We could not allow this, so we struck first to prevent greater damage." Before President Clark could respond, Ambassador Veltar contacted him with a nearly identical message. "Mr. President, we deeply regret our actions. The Korthani were preparing to attack your installations to drag you into our conflict. We launched a preemptive strike to minimize the damage they would cause." President Clark looked at Secretary Martinez in disbelief. "They both attacked us to prevent the other side from attacking us?" "It gets worse," Admiral Johnson reported. "Intelligence suggests both sides planned these attacks together. They're trying to force us into the war by making us choose which side to blame." Dr. Wright analyzed the attack patterns. "Mr. President, this was coordinated. Both factions hit our installations at exactly the same time with exactly the same level of force. They're working together while pretending to be enemies." The realization struck everyone in the room simultaneously. The aliens weren't trying to recruit human help anymore. They were trying to trick humans into joining the war by making them angry enough to pick a side. President Clark called an emergency session with world leaders. Within hours, representatives from every major nation gathered via secure video conference. "The aliens have attacked human installations," President Clark announced. "But I don't think they want to fight us. I think they want us to fight for them." The Chinese premier agreed. "Our intelligence services report that both alien factions have been making secret deals with multiple countries. They want humans involved in their war, despite their public claims otherwise." The Russian president added, "Our analysis shows that this war has become so expensive for both sides that they need outside help to continue. They cannot win without us, but they cannot ask for help openly. President Clark made a decision that surprised everyone. We're going to end this war, but not the way they expect. Admiral Johnson began mobilizing the largest military operation in human history. Ships from every space-capable nation joined the fleet. Captain Dan White took command of the European Union vessels. Commander Nancy Taylor led the Asian Alliance ships. Colonel Jack Miller coordinated the combined forces. The human fleet was smaller than either alien armada, but it had something neither alien side possessed: unified command and unpredictable tactics. Major Tom Jackson led the first strike. Teams that disabled alien communication networks. Captain Linda Garcia commanded stealth ships that infiltrated both alien fleets. The humans used tactics that neither alien side had encountered before. Instead of attacking one side or the other, human forces struck both alien fleets simultaneously. While the Corthani and Vextar were still trying to figure out which side the humans had chosen, their command ships found themselves surrounded and disabled. General Thompson coordinated the operation from Earth. Phase 1 complete. Both alien command structures are offline. Begin Phase 2. Phase 2 involved something no one expected. Instead of destroying the alien fleets, human forces herded them together into the same area of space. The Corthani and Vextar ships found themselves floating helplessly next to their enemies, with human vessels surrounding all of them. Admiral Johnson opened communications to both alien fleets. This is Admiral Kate Johnson of the United Earth Fleet. Both of your civilizations have lied to us, manipulated us, and attacked our installations. This ends now. Commander Zethkar of the Corthani fleet appeared on screen, his yellow eyes wide with shock. Admiral Johnson, what are you doing? We are not your enemies. War leader Carthan of the Vextar responded similarly. This is madness. Humans cannot fight both of our fleets at once. We are not fighting your fleets, Admiral Johnson replied calmly. We're ending your war. For 200 years, you've been killing each other and destroying entire star systems. You've involved us in your conflict through deception and attacks on our people. This stops today. President Clark joined the communication from Earth. Both of your civilizations will sit down and negotiate a peace treaty. Human representatives will mediate the talks. Any attempt to resume hostilities will result in human intervention on behalf of the other side. The alien commanders protested, but their protests fell on deaf ears. Human tactical superiority had been demonstrated beyond question. Both alien fleets were disabled and helpless. Ambassador Helen Rodriguez, Earth's most experienced diplomat, arrived with a team of negotiators. The peace talks took place on a neutral space station that humans constructed specifically for the negotiations. The talks lasted 3 months. Both alien sides tried to restart the fighting several times, but human forces intervened immediately each time. Captain Miller, now promoted to admiral, commanded the peacekeeping fleet that kept both sides separated. The final treaty established several key points. Both alien civilizations would end all hostilities immediately. War criminals from both sides would face trial in human courts. Most importantly, Earth would establish a permanent peacekeeping presence in the region. The aliens who had once begged humans not to join their war now found themselves under human protection, whether they wanted it or not. 5 years later, Admiral Miller stood on the bridge of the peacekeeping station that orbited between Corthani and Vextar space. The war that had raged for 2 centuries was truly over. Both alien civilizations had rebuilt their worlds and were slowly learning to work together. Commander Zethkar visited the station regularly, often bringing gifts of Corthani art and technology. War leader Carthan did the same, sharing Vextar scientific advances with human researchers. Admiral Miller, Commander Zethkar said during our one visit, our elders asked me to apologize again for our deception. We thought we could control human involvement in our war. Admiral Miller smiled. You were right to be afraid of human military tactics, but you were wrong about what we would do with them. Humans don't fight wars to fight wars. We fight wars to end wars. The former enemies had learned that human reputation for warfare was both accurate and misunderstood. Humans were indeed devastating in combat, but their ultimate goal was always peace. The aliens had feared human involvement would make their war worse, but instead, human involvement had ended their war permanently. The galaxy was learning that when humans said they would bring peace, they meant it, whether others wanted that peace or not.